Please join me on this neurodivergent journey I took today. So it actually started last night. I was getting ready for bed, but I saw there were 2 garbage bags just sitting right here that needed to go out. But it was late and I was tired, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna stick them out in a chair on the deck and I'll get to them in the morning. I just gotta get to them before the squirrels get to them, because the squirrels like to rip holes in the bags and eat the stuff inside of it. So fast forward to this morning, I wake up, we get the kids ready, we get them out the door for school, and I still got some time because it's a work from home day for me and I already did all my prep work the night before. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a quiche with breakfast sausage. So I pull up the recipe and I get all the ingredients out, I get everything laid out where I need it to be. I put the breakfast sausage in a frying pan and I start browning that, and I start mincing all the onions. But the problem when I cook is that I get time blindness. And so the next thing I know, I've got an alert that pops up on my phone telling me that a work meeting is starting. So I panic because I had no idea it was already that late in the morning. I drop everything I'm doing and I rush back to my bedroom and pull up the meeting. So the meeting finishes and then I just keep working for 3.5 hours. So now it's almost 1 o'clock and I'm realizing I'm really hungry. This is weird, I'm not usually hungry at this time. So I get up and walk into the kitchen to go make myself something to eat. Walk into the kitchen and the quiche stuff is just everywhere. I forgot I was making a quiche. Pick back up where I left off, all right? The sausage was already cooked. I move it to a bowl. I clean out the frying pan, put it back on the stove, put some butter in there, melt it down. I take all the onions I chopped up and I throw them in and I let them fry for about 20 minutes until they're like that nice golden brown. And then I start playing Sudoku because I don't know, I like Sudoku. So after about 10 more minutes, the onions are done. I transfer them to a plate and I spread them out real thin because they gotta cool off before you can mix them in with the rest of the mixture. Well, because it's so cold outside, I think, you know what? I'm just gonna go put it on the table on the deck and I'm gonna let them cool off out there. So I walk over to the door and open it up, and the goddamn squirrels got into the trash that I forgot about. So now I'm mad as hell, and I walk back into the house and I go to grab a garbage bag from under the sink, but then I look over at the island where all the other ingredients are and I'm like, wait a minute, I have to finish mixing all that together. So now I'm cracking eggs and I'm putting whipping cream in a bowl and I'm putting salt and pepper and I'm mixing it up, and I'm like, well, all I gotta add now is the sausage and cheese. I mix all that stuff in and I'm like, okay, we're good to go. So I walk over to the stove where the pie crust is and I pour the mixture into it and I look at it and I'm like, I feel like something's missing. Oh, I didn't preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Let me go ahead and do that. So as the oven's preheating, I decide I'm gonna go back outside with a garbage bag and I'm gonna try to clean up the mess that the squirrels left for me. I grab the garbage bag, I walk over to the door, and there's a goddamn squirrel trying to eat the onions off the plate. So I shoo the squirrel away. I bring the onions back in the house. I scrape off the part where the squirrel was touching it. I grab the pie crust and I empty all the mixture back into the bowl. I put the remaining onions into the mixture. I stir it up, pour it back into the pie crust, stick it in the oven for an hour. Now it's an hour later, and at least I was smart enough to set an alarm. So I come out, I pull the quiche out of the oven, I put it on top of the stove. And I think to myself, you know what, I can't eat it until it cools off. Maybe I should put it on like a cooling rack so it gets cooler a little bit quicker. So I walk over to this drawer to grab a cooling rack, but I never actually opened the drawer. You know why? Because I got distracted by these dry erase markers. We have this dry erase calendar hanging up on the wall right here, and I realized I haven't written down some important things that are coming up. So I write in the things I have to do for this month, and then I go back to my bedroom and I just continue to work. And it wasn't until nearly 4 o'clock that I walked back into the kitchen to get a drink of water when I realized I never ate the quiche. So if you ever wanted to know how people with ADHD just forget to eat sometimes, hopefully this answers that for you.